Now, people should not be frightened while commuting to and from work, whether they're riding buses in their own vehicles, whether they're traveling to get groceries, dropping off children. Yet in big cities across the country, that's a reality. In Chicago, a man was attacked by a group of 7 while he was riding the Red Line train. They cut his hand and robbed him. In Philly, a 17-year-old was arrested for murdering another teen on the SEPTA bus. And in New York City this week, a crazed lunatic allegedly shoved someone onto the subway tracks. 2 teens were stabbed on the subway platform. So crime on mass transit, it seems at least, to be out of control. And that's why these blue cities are facing pressure from the Trump administration to crack down.
I'm here with the mayor because I do care about the city. I do want the city to to function well. I want the MTA to function really well, and that's why the mayor and I are here together to partner up and figure out how we can work together, to improve the ridership for those who take the subway.
Joining me now, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us. I know Mayor Adams. You've worked with him on this. He made this big show of the subway being safe, and he says crime's down. But I know from so many friends of mine, mostly women, who are on the subway regularly, some on a daily basis. They're still, gripping their, purses, carrying pepper spray whenever they ride it. So what's the truth?
So the truth is, transit across America is dangerous, right? And these liberals, liberal mayors, they want everyone out of cars and into trains, but they make the trains unsafe, so no one really wants to ride them. Listen, I know a lot of people in New York who they're okay riding transit or the subway during the day, but if it's in the morning or if it's at night, even big men don't want to ride the subway at those times of night. And so the mayor has indicated they've made some progress. I've got other stats that'll say they haven't. But the mayor has sent more law enforcement officers into the subway system. But this is really a failure of the governor of New York, right? She's someone who wants to invest more in the MTA, which is the transit system in New York. And she really doesn't do anything to look at the bottom line of how they spend their money, how much of it goes to security, how much is to make it beautiful and safe. They have homelessness and crazy people that live and reside inside of subways, and so it's not acceptable. And so we at the Department of Transportation, we actually partner with a lot of the transit systems around the country. We give them a lot of federal taxpayer money to help them run their systems. And our position is, if you don't clean up your act, we're not going to invest in you. If you do it well and you have beautiful trains that are on time, that are safe, we'll make those investments as taxpayers. But if you don't, we're going to pull the money and we'll put it somewhere else. And again, they have a choice. I was telling the Transit Authority and the governor, Laura, we need to send DOGE into the MTA and actually look at how they spend their money, look at the fraud, the waste, and the abuse, pull it out and start to make these projects efficient and cost effective.
Well, again, this is a national story because this is happening, and this is our taxpayer dollars in blue cities across America. But I want to move on to another issue, Mr. Secretary, which is what seems to be happening in the sometimes not so friendly skies. Passengers on board an American Airlines plane evacuated in Augusta, Georgia from the aircraft's wings. Watch this.
Smelled like the brakes were burning or something. The cabin was filled with smoke, and we climbed out on the wing. Looks like everybody's safe. And welcome to Augusta.
Mr. Secretary, it seems like there's a lot of near mid-air collisions or close calls, and Reagan Airport, obviously the horrible nightmare disaster there. But what can you tell the American public about the safety of aviation today?
Listen, it's very simple. Flying on an airplane is the safest mode of transportation by far, bar none. It is the safest. And I think since DCA, Laura, it was the first time in 16 years we had a major air disaster. And I think there's now a lot more focus on aviation. So if smoke fills a cabin and we land and people go out on the wing, it gets a lot more attention. But there are not more incidents right now in aviation than there were last year or in the last 5 years. actually there are less. And so that doesn't mean, though, we don't look at what were the mistakes of the past. I mean, we had the prior administration. I mean, they had Transit Equity Day as there were near misses in the air. They were focused on changing the name of cockpit to flight deck and, airmen to aeronaut. I mean, stupid things like that. They weren't doing the work of actually keeping people safe. And so now I'm left with a situation where we actually have to fix it. We have to upgrade our system, make it brand new. We need more air traffic controllers. We have to retrain our air traffic controllers. It's a really big job, and maybe because it's such a big job, the last administration chose not to do it. It's not that they didn't know that it needed a whole redo, but I'm going to do it. President Trump has seen our plan to build a brand new state-of-the-art system. He's bought in. We're going to Congress to get the money. And listen, I think if we do this right, Laura, I don't know how much you fly, but I'm sick of delayed flights and canceled flights. It's happening way too much. And so if we get a brand new air traffic control system, it's not just safer, it is actually more efficient. So there'll be less delays and less cancellations. People will move through the air in a more seamless fashion. And more people fly today than ever. And so we need this brand new system that's not 30 years old using floppy disks. It's actually brand new, the best technology that we can buy. And by the way, the air traffic controllers, they deserve to use brand new technology. We're the greatest country in the world. Why shouldn't we have the best technology in our towers? And no one has done it, but this administration is committed. I'm committed to making sure that happens.
All right, Mr. Secretary, as always, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.